Well, let's move on to what you're doing now, which is the Bridges of Madison County, which is a musical version of a story popular in the 90s. Tell us about this.
Yeah, we're just absolutely thrilled to be bringing this particular story to life. The Bridges of Madison County, many people are familiar with it. It was a best-selling novel back in the early 90s by Robert James Waller, and lots of people, remember the book. And then not long after the book came out, they did make a movie of it, starring Clint Eastwood and Meryl Streep. So a lot of people are familiar with that as well. And just about 3 years ago, a creative team in New York decided that it was time to revisit this story. The composer Jason Robert Brown, who is well known in the Broadway circles as just an incredibly wonderful composer, had said that he really wanted to take a shot at creating a soaring score, one that just was beautiful music, not the typical type of music that you might hear in what people come to think of as a traditional Broadway show. And that's what he did, and he just created beautiful, beautiful music, orchestrations that were very different sounding to the ear than typically you would hear from a Broadway orchestra. And in fact, his score won the Tony Award that year. I believe it was 2014 for Best Score, because it just really was an incredibly beautiful score. And that's what I fell in love with first. I hadn't really seen the show prior to hearing the music, and the music just really spoke to me. And I knew that I would love the show when I saw it, because I had always really, that story of the Bridges of Madison County had personally resonated with me. And then to see it told in a musical format, and kind of a little different take on the story than what people might remember from the book or the movie, where it's the story of a woman who was from Italy and grew up in Italy during World War II and ended up leaving Italy to come to America and start a new life here in really the heartland, a small little farm town in Iowa. And she and her husband run a farm, and they raise a family, and 18 years goes by, and she finds herself at a place where maybe her life isn't as full and rich as she had hoped it might have been. And into her life walks a stranger that she connects with, and she has to make some pretty difficult choices about which way her life is going to go. And the musical is really told from her perspective, whereas the movie and the book were really more about the man who came into town and more of his story. And so that fascinates me, just, wanting to be able to tell stories about very strong women and women who face real life situations and how they come to make the choices that they make, and getting to those crossroads in life and deciding which way you're going to go really can shape your life. And that's what this musical is about. And I think we are the first people in the first theater company in the Bay Area to bring this particular story to our local audiences. And the musical ran for a very short time, only about 3 months on Broadway. And then it did have a limited national tour, but it never did come to the Bay Area. So I'm just very excited. We have a wonderful cast, and we're all very excited to show our local audiences the beauty of the score and the beauty of the story, and we're getting ready to open. We
Great.
open on Saturday night.
Opening on Saturday night, and is there tickets still available, or where can people find out more? Because we've got global listeners. I'm not sure everyone's going to be flying from the UK to get over there, but they should be. But we've got lots of. We've got a big audience in California, so people listening to this are probably fascinated. How long are you running for, and how can they find out more?
Yeah, I know that there are still a few tickets left for opening night. Some of the other performances in the run are selling out. We expect that we will have a really great word of mouth once we open and be able to get some full houses to see this production. We have a great design team, a great cast, and we're ready. We're ready to tell this story, and we certainly hope that any of your listeners that happen to be in the Bay Area will come to South Bay Musical Theater, which performs in the Saratoga Civic Theater right near West Valley College for anyone who lives in the Bay Area. And we do run from September 23rd through October 14th.
Lovely.
We'd love to see everybody there.
Yes, certainly so. We wish you. Well, thank you so much for coming on the program. It sounds absolutely fascinating, and I'm sure future productions we'll have to get back on the show and talk about them as well.
I would love that. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Absolute pleasure, and we wish you all the best. Thank you, Diane. Thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And if you're in the Bay Area, I think that's something will have to be an absolute must. Interestingly enough, a couple of tracks lined up. Patsy Cline, which Diane also mentioned.